Okay, welcome back, everybody. Joel Landon here from EQRP. Super excited to be in front of you again today. We've got an exciting guest, Alexis Morgan. She's joining us today, and she's going to be talking a lot about her industry and some of the experiences that she has had in the past and some of the things that she does today in her industry. So we're excited to hear from her. Alexis, welcome. Happy to have you here.
Thanks so much, Joel. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, for sure. And if you wouldn't mind, I know you and I had a chance to get to know each other a little bit, but would you mind just sharing a little bit about who you are before we get into the details?
Yeah, of course. Let's do it. So, everyone, great to meet you virtually at least. My name is Alexis Morgan. I'm a real estate investor and lender here in Atlanta, Georgia. Me and my partner manage tens of millions of dollars of investor capital, lending it out to fix and flippers here in the local market.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, I figured what I would do, Alexis, just like we do every Tuesday and Thursday, is ask you a series of questions so that you can share a little bit about your firm, your experience, your insights, of course. And of course, our members really enjoy this content. This should give them an opportunity to, get to know you and reach out. So we'll have a chance to even share your contact information at the end. Of course, it'll be here in the post. But you okay if we get right into it?
Let's do it. I love it.
Cool. Awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Peach State Capital Group and what you guys specialize in?
Sure. So we focus on fix and flip loans. These are short-term real estate loans to our local investor community. Our typical lender is someone who is fixing and flipping within the 60 miles of Atlanta. So we're really focused on the Atlanta, Georgia market. How we came to be, there's tons of hard money lender products out there or institutional lender products out there, but we were actually lending our own personal money a long time before we started inviting investors into some of the loans. Investors, the real estate flippers, tend to work with us because we have a more personalized relationship with them. And so when you go to a hard money lender, they ask you for 50 stacks of documents and your blood type and the last time you went to the grocery store. We tend to be an asset focused lender. And so the ease of communication, the communication style has led us to a lot of success in Atlanta. We've grown super fast, especially once we started inviting investors to come and partner with us on our loans. But we mainly will focus on fix and flip loans. These are short-term loans, 3 months, 6 months. The longest ones we have are maybe 9 to 12 months. But these investors are fixing, flipping properties here within the local market.
Awesome. Gosh, it really is a small world. We have some contacts, in fact, several of our EQRP members that are in Georgia, the Atlanta area, that are doing exactly what you're talking about. We've even got a contact out there, Red Barn home buyers. But I just know that there's a lot of opportunity out there, and I'm becoming more and more, I think, exposed to that opportunity out there. So that's exciting that you guys are a part of that, and that you've kind of gone up from the grassroots, so to speak. You guys were doing it yourselves. You were financing and funding these opportunities. So it's cool to hear that you've got some of that experience. In fact, what experiences in the past have shaped Peach State Capital into the company that it is today?
Yeah, I love that. It's a great question. Like, how did this even happen, right?
Mm.
My business partner is Abraham Graham, Alexis Morgan. Combined, we have over 30 years experience in real estate. He has been in Atlanta his whole investing career. And so for a long time, it was just fix and flips. We were just like anyone else, fix and flipping properties, buying properties. Anyone who's investing in real estate, that every deal needs funding. And so with the successful businesses that we had extra capital, we started lending money, right? Okay, what do we do with this extra money? We got to put it somewhere. We don't want it sitting in a bank account. All of you guys know you want to invest your money. You don't want it sitting in a bank account. So we had the same thought. Well, we already know this business of fixing and flipping. We know that there are people out there, our friends, our competitors even, that need capital. Why don't we start leveraging the money and lending it to the industry that we're already familiar with? So that's how it came to be. It was fixing and flipping, buy and holding, and then kind of accidentally in a way, we didn't pop out and say, let's do this lending thing. It was like a natural flow, natural progression because the demand was there. We knew the demand was there. So that's how it kind of came to be what it is today. And then as we grew, we constantly kept getting, I mean, at one point we had $10 million of our own money deployed and we were still getting requests for funding. And at that point, there's a business there. There's other people can come in and invest into that asset class, that loan. And we provided that opportunity to plenty of investors and have since been built Peach State Capital into a real opportunity for investors to get involved in.
So cool. Thank you for sharing that. And, I couldn't help but think about so many of our members that are investing in, I almost want to call it like traditional assets, like commercial multifamily. It's very traditional in a sense.
Yeah.
It's very common, but the opportunity is really wide.
Yeah.
But to hear you come in and share a little bit about the uniqueness of what you offer and the ability to fix and flip and to do the financing, the short-term financing, it just gives our members another opportunity to explore. I would encourage anybody listening to really reach out and just ask more, maybe how somebody that's new to this asset class, if you will, or investing strategy, could get exposed to this and could maybe even start investing a little bit and just getting familiar with it. So
Yeah, on that point, I want to touch on that you said. A lot of investors, specifically that are in amazing groups like yours, will get exposure to a lot of opportunities to invest in equity. Come buy this multifamily apartment, come invest in this self-storage deal. But it's not often that you see a really good debt product, right?
yes,
And we have an opportunity to cash flow from real estate without tenants, without trash, without toilets. We are a very simple debt product. And I think kind of contrasting, the difference between investing in equity and investing in debt. It depends on what kind of investor you are, of course, but both of them have individual benefits. And I agree with you. I do feel that people don't get a lot of exposure to opportunities to just do debt.
agreed. Yeah. Let's dive into maybe some of the conditions, if you will, that impact your industry specifically. Um, Obviously, we've seen variability with rates. I think money was cheap a couple of years ago, and we've seen that change. And obviously, now we know that rates are starting to adjust. But with the variability in rates, even values over the last 5 years, how does Peach State Capital prepare itself for these variabilities? Maybe even leverage or take advantage of these variabilities.
I love it. Great question. So real estate values change, right? Typically over a long period of time, they go up, which is always good. Invest in real estate, right? But real estate values change. Interest rates we've all seen go up and go down. The main thing for us comes down to underwriting and risk management. Every single property that we lend on, we have to underwrite for what it's worth today. What is this property worth today? And our formulas show us, hey, this is a safe loan to value. This is what you should be loaning on this asset. Now, in regards to when rates go up, we are way more conservative because we know on the back end of that loan, when this property is going to exit, when the borrower wants to sell, there potentially might be less buyers. So we get more and more conservative. When rates go down, maybe we're a little bit more lenient. But what I can tell you is that when rates go down, a lot of people have an immediate thought that that impacts us negatively. Maybe we can't achieve the same returns. Maybe we have to lower our interest rates to borrowers. But historically, in our business, when rates have dropped, there's more and more business to lend money because more and more people want to borrow to go out and make money doing these fix and flips. So whichever way the cookie crumbles, we will benefit, but it all will come down to risk mitigation and the underwriting, the loan to value, looking at what is this property worth. And the reason why we stay within 60 miles of Atlanta is because that's the market that we know best. It's very hard to do what we're doing nationwide. You have to really understand truly the values of the properties that you're lending on in a very in a lot of depth. So we only stay within the market that we know, and that in turn makes our underwriting extremely accurate, and we can move forward with extreme confidence.
Very cool. I come from the institutional space before I got into, more of this alternative space, and underwriting, processing, financing institutionally can take so long. It's like you said, sometimes they're asking for information that could really come across as cumbersome, time consuming. Why? So I think your product is your opportunity is unique because it's unique for an investor to come in to provide that debt. I can already think of several people in our community that might actually want to go to you for the financing. I might be
No,
putting you on the spot, but what does turnaround time usually look like for processing, underwriting, all the way to even funding? And I know that that's kind of a loaded question because terms vary,
not at all.
amounts vary, but what does it typically look like just to give us an idea?
So the first thing that we need from a borrower in order to fund their deal is the details on what they're needing, right? We need to underwrite the property. And so in order to do that, we of course need the address, we need the amount that they're requesting, we need photos of the property, we need to know what position they're looking to get funding in. 99% of our loans are first position. If we ever are going to consider a second position lien, then the property has to have loads and loads of equity. There are reasons that could take us another hour to go through on why second position is not our favorite position to be in. We want to be first claim to collateral. But once we get that information, we underwrite and respond within 24 hours on whether or not we can fund that deal. If the borrower wants to move forward, we are ready to fund. We have a real estate fund, we have partners, we ourselves have liquidity. We have funded deals 24 hours, 48 hours. Once before, we've done same day. We don't prefer to do same day, but we have gotten a request in and have funded a deal the same day. Typically, on a normal timeline, someone would give us 2 to 3 weeks before their close of escrow, but by no means does that have to be the required timeline. If someone needs funding, a lot of times in the real estate space, a single family, when you're dealing with hard money lenders, for some reason the lender drops out, some reason the lender doesn't perform, we get those calls and we can clean up those deals.
How cool. Thank you. Appreciate you answering that. And to follow it up, what are some of the market conditions that you guys in Peach State are preparing for over the next 6 months?
Yeah, I think the next 6 months is going to be an interesting time, right? We have, at this point in time, it's October 15th, 2024. We have an election coming up. There's like noise in the street about real estate interest rates. And so it's really about keeping a close monitor. We probably have at least 100 loans out at any given time. We also have our own fix and flip projects, our own real estate property. And so we're keeping a close monitor on number one, what is the market saying? What is the feedback that we're getting? If we loaned on a property in March of this year, is it still on the market at this time? Has the flip been completed? Did it sell quickly? Did it take 30 days to sell? Did it take 60? What neighborhoods of Atlanta are doing well? What neighborhoods of Atlanta are doing poorly? And so it's keeping a pulse on all of our loans, on all of our personal projects, and considering, do we lend less in this area of Atlanta? Do we lend less? Do we lend more aggressively in this area of Atlanta? So it's keeping a pulse on things like rates, buyer activity, how fast things are selling, and values is the output, in my opinion. We watch all the inputs, what's going on, and the outputs are things like values, which most people will react to. Oh my God, the house isn't worth what we thought it was. But we can usually predict those things 2 or 3 months before everyone realizes it, because we have so much volume of activity going on. We're constantly keeping a pulse on where the market is at.
Very cool. Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like you guys do have your eyes on multiple conditions, like over the next 6 months, like we were talking about. So obviously, we've really just scratched the surface, Alexis, and that's the point of this opportunity, is just to give our members the opportunity to hear you out a little bit and to see what you're up to. And quite frankly, the uniqueness of what you guys offer with your firm. What would you say is the absolute best way for people to get in touch with you, even just to have a little discovery call or a little conversation about their strategies?
Love it. They can shoot me an email. They also give out my personal number. So my email is Alexis, Alexis, at peachstatecapital.com. Then my personal phone number is 804-939-7270. If anyone prefers text or email, you have both. Of course, I'm on LinkedIn. I know you mentioned a lot of members on LinkedIn. I think my LinkedIn is Alexis Morgan Invest is the technical at. It's Alexis Morgan, of course. But yeah, if you guys will shoot me an email or shoot me a text, I'm more than happy to help. And we have an open door policy, in our office. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. Our office is in East Cobb. If you're local, feel free to reach out, come on over. We can have a conversation or grab lunch. we're always happy to chat with people in our network. We actually host a lot of real estate meetups ourselves
Oh,
here in Atlanta. So anyone who wants to get in touch is welcome to get in touch. I'll say that.
that's so good to know. We actually head out to to Atlanta from time to time. So I was just out there, gosh, I want to say maybe 4 weeks ago.
Oh,
So
that's super recent.
yeah, so would love to head out and get to know you guys even better. And definitely I'd encourage any of our members out there to hook up with you guys. Well, thank you so much, Alexis, for taking the time to do
Sure.
this. I'm happy to have you here, and maybe we'll see you again, and hopefully our members will have a chance to get connected with you.
Yeah, thank you, Joel. I really appreciate you, and good luck to everyone and your investments. Happy investing.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.